The new Netflix comedy tells a story of a high school cheerleader who falls into a coma before her prom. 20 years later, she awakens and wants to return to high school to reclaim her status and become prom queen. I watched the new film starring Rebel Wilson, Senior Year. Should you? Let's find out. How's it going, movie watchers? Thank you guys for stopping by my channel. Today we're going to talk about the new Netflix comedy Senior Year. This stars Rebel Wilson in a film where she is 37, goes back to high school because she ended up in a 20-year coma. This took what could have been a pretty funny film, a parody of high school. Rebel Wilson, 37 years old, going back to high school. Took something that could have been funny, and I felt like it was pressured into being something cliche. It started off pretty promising with her waking up from the coma, realizing things have changed, jokes about all of that. There's more Fast and Furious films compared to when she was younger. There was jokes surrounding her being in a coma and her waking up and going back to high school. But as the film progressed and we got really into the meat of her wanting to go back to high school, to become popular again, to become that prom queen and be on the cheerleading squad again, fell into the category of being very cliche. It was pressured into being something like we've seen before. They had the messages of there's more than life than just being popular, and you need to be your true self. You need to realize who your real friends are. All of that is discussed within this movie. And so it's pressured into being something cliche. And so many times within this film, you could tell it wants to do that, but it isn't truly developed. There is so much focus on her wanting to be a cheerleader again, her wanting to become prom queen because she did not get that chance when she was younger. And so they're so focused on that, but you could tell by the introduction of her friends from when she was younger and some of the conflict between them that it wants to dive into that moment of you gotta realize who your true friends are. You need to stay true to yourself, and there's so much more than being popular. And that when they do introduce that, it feels so underdeveloped that you just do not care about it. You see it coming, but you just can't really feel invested in all of that. Rebel Wilson does a fine job acting as a 17-year-old, but when I really look at the jokes within here and her style of comedy and everything she's done before in the past, like Pitch Perfect, it really isn't anything different than she's done before. So is her humor like a 17-year-old? Because I do think that she matches the young actress that was playing a younger version of her in the film. A lot of the dialogue, a lot of the conversations, the way she acts is like a 17-year-old, but it really feels like a lot of the jokes and her interactions with people really don't feel any different than some things I have seen Rebel Wilson do before in the past. Like Pitch Perfect, it all just feels very familiar. And that's the problem with it, is that it doesn't feel anything different than a average Rebel Wilson film, and we're supposed to believe that she's 17. And I think that she did a fine job doing that, but a lot of the jokes just feel something average. There are so many cringe-worthy moments, like I said, when they start to embrace the cliches of this film instead of being like a parody and something pretty hilarious. There are some very cringy moments coming towards the end involving some dance sequences that you would see in a teen comedy like this years ago. Those moments towards the end are like you just want to absolutely turn it off. It started off good, it started off promising, but once you got into the meat of the story, that's when it started to be really cliche, underdeveloped, and cringy. And then it just went like that for the whole film. It really didn't know what it wanted to be. Did it want to be a comedy about her becoming a cheerleader? Then it transitioned into her wanting to be prom queen, and then it transitioned into her realizing her true friends and then trying to graduate high school. So a lot of it is just focused on her trying to trying to live that life that she wanted to. There are some emotional moments kind of thrown throughout, but it really doesn't know what it wants to be. It doesn't want to be something original and funny, or does it want to be cliche? It kind of tries to balance both of those, and it really does not work. So by the end of this, I thought it turned out fine in the beginning, but then by the end of the film, it just was bad. It was cringy, it was unfunny, it was unoriginal. It just was maybe something. It just was something I wanted to turn off, especially with the end credits and some dance number that it just was absolutely horrible. So besides the beginning of the film and some jokes about her being in a coma and her trying to adjust to new life, being 37 in high school, it ended up being a cliche film that felt very familiar. The jokes did not hit. They felt very average. This role is something that I've kind of seen her do before, not exactly the same story, but the same kind of style of humor and everything. So overall, senior year ended up feeling flat at the end. Started off promising, but did not work out for me in the end. So before I give you my score for senior year, make sure to check out my channel. Here I do movie reviews, trailer reactions, ranking videos, tier lists, all that fun movie related content that you see on YouTube. I do it all here, so hit that subscribe button and get it all in one spot. And if you'd like to see where senior year ranks amongst all of the other 2022 releases I have seen this year, follow me on Letterboxd and you can find my ranking there. I'm going to go ahead and give senior year a C. Thank you guys for checking my review for senior year on Netflix. Have you guys seen it by chance? What'd you think about it? Let me know in the comment section down below and stay tuned for more up and coming content like this. My name is Justin Watches Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.